So let's begin. Nancy and I, we were sharing something very valued because we have some very key, strong interest in um, in history and also in economy, in the economy of nations. And she raised very, very important something about the conditions of women in classical times, both in whether in Asia, United States, as each country came into the limelight, as they came into focus, or whatever we discover in their history, whether among the Incas, whether among the Aztecs, etc., among the Spanish-speaking people of the Americas, the Middle Eastern, the Africans, Western Europe, etc. And everywhere women were found in the history of human beings. Women have been subjected to certain belief system and certain structural pattern that they should not cross. And there were certain kinds of women that broke those barriers. Mary, read for us Joshua chapter 2 verse 1. Thank you so much.
Joshua chapter 2 verse 1. And Joshua, the son of Nun, sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, Go, view the land, even Jericho. And they went and came into an harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there.
There you go. Women in a lot of cultures, even in medieval times, even as humanity entered into modernity, women were not given the rights. They were not even entitled to life, because their life could be taken at any time, because it was a man's world, so they believe. Except in cultures in which they had queens. So that was different. But even though they did, that did not stop the prejudices and ossified ideas, the peasantization mindsets that was released as the portion of women generally. So women have paid a price for being women. Our mothers, every one of you there who are women, you've paid a price. Your ancestral background is filled with the deprivation of your rights and privileges. Nancy, share with us some of the thoughts that you came across.
Okay, as you mentioned, it happened throughout history. What I was thinking about was the Victorian era.
Okay.
That was when Queen Victoria was reigning. So I looked it up. That's in the 1800s.
Listen. Let's look at it. Women were supposed to be protected. In one,
By that is protected from the worldly issues.
From the what?
Worldly issues.
Worldly
concerns.
Worldly concerns. Okay. I want all of you to jump in. Nancy, keep it. Remember where you stop. Let's keep it there.
All right.
Okay. Let the girls jump in here. Say women were protected from worldly issues. WOR. Is it DLY? Worldly issues. They were supposed to be protected, like some cultures still do. Men are to be the agent of protection of women. In some cultures, women are not even allowed to drive. You cannot go on vacation by yourself or go to the store to buy something by yourself. You know, you were supposed to be protected from the outside world because the woman was believed to be weak, can't fight back. She had no voice. So I'm glad that you are bringing out the era of Queen Victoria, because that was when the Queen was there.
Right.
And that was exactly what I was saying before I asked you to jump in. That even in cultures where women ruled, still they were persuaded that what was being done to them as a gender group was for their advantage. So I throw this out to you all out there. Was what they were doing really to the advantages of women? In one way, it was yes. In another way, it was very big no. Yes, because of the brutality of the mindset of men at that time. Warfare. People were constantly, right from ancient times, men have been warring against each other. Kingdom against kingdom. Nation against nations. So women and children were supposed to be protected. Many of the husbands did not come back home. Many of them died. So women and children were left without no husband, no father, nothing. It was a pathetic situation. And it has continued up till today. There are still places where it's the same thing. Same thing is going on. Think about it very seriously. Were women supposed to be really protected? Or were they supposed to be given their rights and privileges to just be as human as possible? Let's go there. Who are the people who want to jump into this question? Were they doing the right thing? Was that era doing a favor to women? Let's go.
I would say no, and then yes. They were no because they wouldn't let the women speak, and the women turned dumb, or were made to be like their minds were dumb.
Okay.
When they could have been protected and been able to speak up and have their opinions and do other things like that.
So even if a woman was very smart in an area of specialization, she was not given the opportunity. So so they were stripped. They were stripped of opportunities. Not that they are looking for something special for men. Even they were not allowed to create opportunities for themselves. Thank you, Victoria. Anybody else? If not, Nancy, continue. Nancy, continue. Because when you say they were protected from the world, you still see that in a lot of Muslim countries, Jewish cultures, African countries, India, Asia, a lot of Asian countries. They still have these practices. Among Mennonites, among Mennonites, some form of Mormonism, Jehovah's Witnesses. You still find these kind of things. Among the Amish is very high too. Even among Christian communities in India and other countries and a lot of countries is the same thing. They want to protect the woman from the world. Nancy, continue. Where is Nancy?
Okay, they did have education for the higher class women. They educated them in things not where they could earn a living and be independent, but where they can, actually, you would say to please a man. They taught them how to dance and to proper etiquette, social etiquette, so they acted correctly. And that made them, more marriageable.
Okay.
What they taught women. Nothing that where they could earn a living. So women didn't know how to read and write. And what we were discussing was who were the women who were able to read. They learned how to read and write and knew about current events and politics. They were the prostitutes.
You hear that? Women were not allowed to read and write. They were not allowed to have professional careers. They were not given opportunities. And even they would have created opportunities for themselves. Our mothers were not given even the privilege for them to do that. It was a taboo for women to do certain things. Certain things that were professionally would have given them a lot of wealth. Scientifically too. They didn't allow them into certain areas of life. A lot of it. It was a lot of restriction. But the only group of people that broke those taboos were the prostitutes. Mary, I hope you are still here, so that if I need you to read. So listen to this. They were not taught how to read, and even where they were taught to read and write, the kind of education they were given was different from the one that was given to the men. Like Nancy said, they were taught how to dance, proper social etiquette, so that they could be prepared for marriage. And that was it. And have children. And that was it. Knows how to cook and sew, maybe do some gardening, plant flowers, learn how to please a man, how to take care of children, how to please the in-laws, and then be involved in religion. That was all that the women were prepared for. But the only people who could read and write and decide their own fate, F-A-T-E, decide how their life is to be, took matters into their own hands, the only people, among others, who broke boundaries and barriers to have their own businesses, run their own outfits, professional outfits, were the prostitutes. Nancy, continue. Nancy, continue here.
Then Renaissance Italy. That was from the 1300s to the 1500s.
Okay.
Those they were called Italian courtesans.
Okay.
Were prostitutes, and they were very educated. And this is what I thought it was interesting. They were educated, so they talked about philosophy, and they knew about politics. And so when the clientele came, right, the men came to see them. They were politicians, and then the prostitutes would talk to these politicians, and they actually changed the politics by giving their opinion. The politicians would listen to the prostitutes, and they would change laws based on what they had said.
So you see what we were discussing at the beginning of takeover, game over, walls must fall. The prostitutes were the ones that gave ideas. When the men were disappointed with their wife, disappointed with their business colleagues, with government, things of that nature, when they needed someone to talk to in secret, those were the people they went to. They went to those madams. And those madams gave them ideas. We see those women as they rise in the lives of great people, including Napoleon. If Napoleon Bonaparte has listened to his mistress, who told him, don't go to Russia. Russia will always destroy anyone who tried to go there. Hitler tried to go there. His army was decimated. Napoleon went there against the order of his mistress. And his armies too were decimated. He went to Russia, and there was nobody to surrender to him. And he was living in an empty city. Ha ha! The people all fled, left the city for him. Because they knew winter was coming. And their winter is harsh. It's not French winter. And it decimated his soldiers. He came back to big defeat. We've seen great men who have been very successful in life if they've listened to their wives or to their mistresses or mistress. But they chose to prove to be a man, and they all died miserable death and lost out in lives. Continue, Nancy.
So I was looking at other countries, because you said it took place all over the world.
Yep.
And this says in pre-colonial India, they had the elite courtesans. That's what they called them, but they were prostitutes, and they were rich. They even had their own servants, and they were recognized. They were intellectual, and they were recognized and brought to public functions and parties.
See that? Even in India. So in reality, they were not really prostitutes. So we can see that history gave them, the men gave them the name prostitutes. Why? Out of total disdain for them as people who broke the rules, as people who wanted their own money. Roslyn, are you listening? As people who wanted their own business, as people who wanted, yes, as people who wanted to be in charge of their own destiny, as people who wanted to participate in their own assignment on the earth. And the men were not happy with them. Because majority of these kind of women were wealthier than men. A lot of men. They did very well during their time. Even in Jewish history, we see women rising up and leading a whole nation, an entire nation. Think about that. By the way, if you are not following me on Instagram, go and do that immediately. Thank you very much. And I don't know what is it with the female gender that the male did not see. That this is an equality. The business of life is an equality of contribution by both men and women. I do not believe that women are the weaker vessel. I do not buy that at all. And I will never buy it. Women are not the weaker vessel. There are women who are experts in what many men can never be. And so because there are women who have taken their own destiny and assignment in their own hand, that troubled many men. And they gave them the name harlots and all of that. And sometimes when you hear the word harlot, it did not mean sex. It didn't mean sexual harlotry. It meant religious harlotry. Because these were women who were willing to venture into the lives of gods and goddesses of their time. I'm serious. It also has to do with women who were willing to begin to pick books and read and find out things for themselves and began to lead other women and men. So they were prostituting their minds. It did not mean that there were no madams who profited from the business of emotion, but it was more than that. That was very tiny percent of what they were really doing. The main thing they were after was money, business, their own destiny, investments, buildings, real estates. They own lands. They own servants. And they were able to have relationship and dealing with the high and mighties of the earth. That's why the Queen of Sheba, Ethiopian woman, was Solomon's concubine, Solomon's mistress. And these were very wealthy women. So when we read this verse 1, we should be careful. We should be very careful of generalizing it without finding out what it really meant. And these were the kind of women who knew where you can get what, whom you can be connected with, what kind of business you can go into in a particular place or outside that place. I want each of you women, each of you mothers and sisters and girls out there to begin to learn something that certain women of old knew. Do not allow any man, to define your destiny and your assignment based on the prejudice that men have had since after God finished the creation of humans. After Jesus finished, because that's who did it. Don't let the prejudices and ancient negative mindset against women for one thing or the other keep you from entering into your real life. Because many of you cannot enter into a lifestyle, high style, high test lifestyle, because of where they have put you, because of what society has defined for you, that this is who you should be, and no more, no less. Nancy, do you have some other thing to add to the list you have there? All right.
Another country was ancient Greece.
Ancient Greece.
They had a long history of prostitution, and the prostitutes would learn how to sing, how to do gymnastics, and they were invited as entertainers. So they were accepted by society. They went to parties and meetings, and they entertained people. And it says that they made the equivalent of thousands of dollars, like in one day.
They could make up to $1,000 in one day.
Because they entertained people, and then it said this article is like saying how they were accepted into society because then they were included in art and literature.
They were included in art and literature, and that is why when you look at certain ancient artifacts, you will see the paintings of some of these great women. Some of these great women, you will see their paintings on potteries, on ornaments, because these were women who were willing to go beyond where women were supposed to be kept. You know, women were not to be heard from, they were not to be seen. If they were to be seen, it was them doing menial job, doing subservient kind of lifestyle, living some subservient kind of lifestyle, doing some the non-essential kinds of jobs. You know, people who could easily be dispensed of. I don't want that kind of lifestyle to be continued. And I'm telling God that in every nation of the world, I want that to come to an end. The way we look at women should change. The way we look at women should change. The way we look at pregnancy should change. The way we look at women, gender should change. The way we look at women as mothers and the bringers of life into this world should change and must change. Women should get back their dignity, their respect, their honor, because they are worth it. That you are not entitled to proper quality, technical, professional, or educational training? Seriously? I know of men who cannot, if the boss of a company is a woman, they can't stand it. They will not work there. Shame on you. And yet that woman knows more than you. Nancy, I'm still waiting. What about ancient Rome?
Right now. That was ancient Rome?
Yeah, ancient Rome, I think they have.
Yes, it was legal. Prostitution was legal.
Prostitution was legal in ancient Rome. It was legal.
And then it says Roman men of the highest social status were free to engage prostitution.
You see that?
Sex, like you said, there were men also.
Can you repeat what you just said?
Oh, it says that Roman men of high status, social status, were free to engage prostitution.
there were men and women prostitutes.
Wow.
They weren't condemned. It was accepted.
Wow. Look at that. So Rome, ancient Roman civilization was where it began to open. Women began to gain their full rights. See, where you see this kind of thing being written about harlot, you should know what it means. So for the first time, borrowing from the Greek, the Romans escalated it. Women began to have a say. Nancy, is that all that you have?
Yes, right now.
There you go. Is there somebody that want to add something to this? Because you as a woman, you are not going to leave this earth until you've given us all that you came with. If you came here to be a genius in chemistry, you are going to do it, or physics, or becoming an astronaut, becoming a great architect, designing architectural things that we've never seen on earth before. For me, I say to God, whether it come through a woman or it come through a man, I don't care. I want it. See, sometimes because you're a woman, people's attitude towards you is different from the attitude towards a man. Even salary structure, even governing. The Almighty spoke to me that I should tell each of you women that your time has come. Your time has come. And that is why we are putting our head together to see what's the right time, what's the right month for us to have a women conference. A conference for women only. And women should come from all over the world. Because there is something that God said that I should tell women. Because women need to hear it. In your generation, you need to hear it. There is a drama that you need to participate in. People are not going to define you anymore. Define where you go. Define what you do. I'm not saying that you become rebellious. This is where we want to stop. This is where we want to stop. I want to see women who become multi-millionaires and billionaires, etc., who own chains of businesses. Nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop you anymore. Thank you very much. And I will see you at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, women.